The Los Angeles Chargers are ahead of schedule under Jim Harbaugh. Playoffs. Here they come. Hold on tight. Chargers fans, your team is officially ahead of schedule. A year ago, the Los Angeles Chargers were limping through a disappointing 5-12 season, stuck with one of the league's worst defenses and desperately looking for answers. Flash forward to today, and they're sitting pretty at 7-3, with their eyes set on a playoff run that's becoming increasingly real as the weeks go by. How did this happen so fast? Enter head coach Jim Harbaugh, whose arrival and instant impact have completely changed the trajectory of the franchise. Add a healthy Justin Herbert, and suddenly, the Chargers are looking like legitimate AFC contenders. The fast track to success. For a team that was expected to be in full rebuild mode, the Chargers are light years ahead of schedule. The proof was on display in their 34-27 win over the Cincinnati Bengals, a game that showed just how far the Chargers have come. Sure, they were up against a high-powered Bengals offense led by Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, and T. Higgins, but instead of being overpowered, the Chargers stood their ground and took the victory. What makes this win even more impressive is how the team rallied when their defense, which had been solid for most of the first half, began to falter. That's where Justin Herbert came in. The Chargers' superstar QB played lights-out football, making precision throws and proving why he's one of the most promising quarterbacks in the league. Herbert's performance in this game was a microcosm of what this team has become: resilient, balanced, and, dare we say it, dangerous. The Chargers aren't just surviving games, they're dominating them. At 7-3, they've already surpassed last year's win total and are in a prime position to make a run for the playoffs. They currently hold the number 5 seed in the AFC, which is a huge jump considering their rocky start to the season. A rebuilt defense, still a work in progress. Now, let's talk defense, because while the Chargers' offense is firing on all cylinders, there's one area where they still have some work to do. Despite the win over the Bengals, the Chargers' secondary remains a weak spot. Burrow and company were able to make big plays, especially when cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. went down with an injury. Samuel, who has been one of the team's top defenders this season, could potentially be out for the rest of the year, leaving the Chargers' secondary even thinner. Against the Bengals, it was clear the Chargers were outmatched at times. When you're facing an offense as explosive as Cincinnati's, featuring elite weapons like Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins, it's tough to keep up, even for the most talented defenses. The Chargers are currently relying on a mix of free agents and rookie talent, and while they've held their own, has brought an entirely new attitude and culture to the team. He's known for building winners everywhere he's been, from Stanford to the San Francisco 49ers. And now it looks like he's doing the same in Los Angeles. Harbaugh's coaching philosophy is one that emphasizes tough, disciplined football, and it's clear that it's resonating with the Chargers players. His ability to get the best out of his squad has been evident in their play this season. And while this year is technically supposed to be a rebuilding one, Harbaugh is already showing that his rebuild is something far more exciting than the Chargers fans could have expected. Under Harbaugh, the Chargers aren't just developing talent, they're winning now. Herbert is playing some of the best football of his career, and the team is thriving in all phases of the game. And with Harbaugh at the helm, the Chargers are shaping up to be a legitimate AFC West contender for the foreseeable future. The Chiefs might be the dominant team in the division, but don't sleep on the Chargers, they're coming for the crown. The road ahead, playoffs are a real possibility. With the Chargers sitting at 7-3 and playoff hopes alive and well, the next few weeks will be crucial. Up next, they face the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football in a Harbaugh showdown, where Jim will face off against his brother, John Harbaugh. The Ravens have been a tough opponent all season, and this game will serve as an excellent measuring stick for just how far the Chargers have come under Jim Harbaugh's leadership. If the Chargers can continue to play at this high level, there's no reason why they can't make a serious playoff run. Herbert and the offense are in a groove. The defense has been stepping up when needed, and Harbaugh's coaching has put the team in position to succeed. With a few more pieces, especially in the secondary, the Chargers could go from being an upstart team to a genuine Super Bowl contender. Conclusion: the Chargers are legit. It's safe to say that the Los Angeles Chargers are no longer the team you take lightly. They've gone from rebuilding to playoff contenders in what seems like the blink of an eye. Jim Harbaugh's leadership has breathed new life into this team. And with Justin Herbert playing at an MVP caliber level, the Chargers are looking like one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC. As the season continues, the Chargers will only get better. And if they can shore up their secondary issues, they could be one of the teams to beat in January. But for now, Chargers fans have every reason to be excited. This team is ahead of schedule, and the future looks incredibly bright. With a few more wins and some help in the secondary, the Chargers might just be playing in January for something much bigger than a playoff berth. Hey, Chargers fans! Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all things Chargers. Drop your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh's impact and whether you think the Chargers can make a deep playoff run this year in the comments below. Share this video with fellow fans and keep the conversation going. See you next time. And as always, bolt up.
Jim Harbaugh's perspective on the Chargers' loss to the Cardinals. After the Chargers' frustrating 17-15 loss to the Arizona Cardinals, head coach Jim Harbaugh took a refreshing view of the situation, focusing on the positives rather than the setbacks. Despite widespread criticism and concern from fans and analysts, Harbaugh highlighted what he saw in the game film that made him believe the team is improving. Key takeaways from Harbaugh's analysis. Growth mindset. Harbaugh emphasized a win or learn philosophy, stating that watching the tape multiple times led him to conclude that the Chargers were, in fact, getting better. He believes in the team's potential to grow from their mistakes rather than wallowing in disappointment. Defensive performance. Although the Chargers' defense allowed a late-game winning field goal, they still rank among the league's best in points allowed, 13.8 per game. Harbaugh sees this as a foundation to build upon as the season progresses. Offensive challenges. The Chargers have not scored a second-half touchdown since Week 1, highlighting a significant area of concern, with injuries impacting key players, including the offensive line and receiving core. Harbaugh's focus will likely be on developing the offense's identity under first-year coordinator Greg Roman. Player perspectives. Linebacker Daiyan Henley expressed the team's shared frustration with losing but reiterated the belief in Harbaugh's leadership. His commitment to improvement is echoed throughout the locker room, as players like Henley recognize the need to learn from their mistakes to grow collectively. Upcoming challenges. As the Chargers prepare to face the New Orleans Saints, they aim to turn the emotional energy from their recent loss into motivation. Harbaugh's leadership style, balancing accountability with encouragement, will be crucial as they look to get back above .500. Injury updates. The Chargers are dealing with several injuries, notably to key offensive players. The absence of Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and tight end Will Disley could further challenge the already struggling offense. Defensive issues are also a concern, with limited practice participation from Joey Bosa and several others. Conclusion. Jim Harbaugh's perspective on the Chargers' loss to the Cardinals reflects a commitment to learning and improvement, a philosophy that resonates with his players. As the team looks to rebound against the Saints, finding a cohesive offensive strategy amidst injuries will be critical to their success moving forward.